Yo, what's up guys? Sam here. It's about 8 o'clock in my time zone. I've been out all day testing AirPods Pro because I have them in hand. Look at this new design. Isn't this wild? Isn't this crazy? Because these are so pricey at $250, I wanted to compare them to something a lot more comparable. AirPods 2 that you can get on Amazon right now, link down below, for about $140. How does this sound compare? How does it feel when they're actually sitting in your ears? So I went to a Starbucks, I tested out noise cancellation, I tested out running with them, and I'm really excited to show you guys what I found. So drop a like if you're excited for this video. Hit subscribe for more. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so I just finished up a number of listening sessions with AirPods 2 and AirPods Pro. Like, I spent some serious time listening to AirPods 2 and then switching to AirPods Pro, and then another song on AirPods 2, AirPods Pro. Different genres, different vocalists, and here's what I found. AirPods 2 and AirPods Pro both have really good audio quality, and whether or not you pick up AirPods 2 for a lot less or AirPods Pro for a lot more, I think you're going to be really happy with the sound. I think the sound quality is very comparable because they both sound good. However, AirPods Pro is different in a couple of key ways, and for me, they're not necessarily good things. So AirPods Pro come through much sharper, and there's a greater separation between your highs, your cymbals, your mids, your vocals, and your lows, your bass notes. When I put in AirPods Pro, it's like I can almost draw a map of what I'm seeing in front of me. Like, I could pinpoint, oh, the highs are up here, the mids are here, the lows are, oh, okay, and that just popped up here. If there's a bar, things are constantly pushing through that. And it's more of an in-your-face sound. With that, you also get some more sibilants for vocals or for cymbals. When you're getting those high, like, tss sounds, they sort of come through as piercing, biting. With AirPods 2, the sound quality is not as wide. I would say that range is a bit more compressed so that it's not as easy to say, oh, I'm hearing these in these exact positions and I can map it out. But it's a much more tame, a much more subtle sound overall. I actually prefer the sound of AirPods 2 based off this initial test, 3-4 songs, listening through, really focusing on what I'm hearing. But if you like the sound of HomePod, if you like sharper, bigger range, then I think you're gonna like AirPods Pro better. It just depends on what you like because audio is super subjective. It's why it's very hard to put into words what you're hearing. It's just one might be for you and one might not be. At the same time, even if you're like me and you don't love that super sharp sound, it's not like you're not gonna like AirPods Pro. It still sounds good. Now, you do get some big benefits with AirPods Pro, which you can't get in any capacity on AirPods 2. We're talking about noise cancellation. I put those things in, I started talking, is a bit disorienting. Something that's blowing my mind is I tried active noise cancellation and it always makes me feel weird, and it still makes me feel weird now. If you're somebody who likes noise cancellation, it's really good. Like, there's people playing basketball downstairs in the gym and the only thing I could hear was like the softest tap of the ball, and they're a few hundred feet away from me, so you can still hear some things, but when you turn it on, I felt like I detached from reality for a second. Like, you're just in your own little zone, which is how noise canceling works. It's just the first time I've ever heard it on AirPods, and it's kind of weird that Apple's able to create that just using wireless earbuds. And they're super small. They're not big, they're not bulky. They don't look like there's something else that they're not trying to be. For all the features Apple has in here, it's pretty well done. Surprisingly, the in-ear part of AirPods Pro wasn't bothering me as much as in-ear headphones have bothered me in the past. AirPods 2 are more hard plastic. Sometimes they can hurt your ears if they're in there for a super long time. AirPods Pro were extremely comfortable. Definitely more comfortable than AirPods 2, especially if you're going to be doing an extended listening session. Apple did do a really great job with the size of the ear tips and making them feel just right. I have never worn a pair of in-ear headphones more comfortable than AirPods Pro. All right, guys, so I just got done with a couple laps on the track trying out both AirPods Pro and with normal AirPods 2, and both stayed in about the same. If AirPods 2 haven't worked for you though, again, they're definitely worth a try because they have these little inserts, so they're much more likely to stay in your ear and running super comfortable. Every once in a while, AirPods 2 start to hurt my ears just because, they're hard plastic, but the little soft rubbery piece feels really nice and it seems to stay in your ear super well. So to make sure these are actually correct, Apple offers 3 different tip in-ear sizes, and if you head over to your Bluetooth settings and tap on your AirPods Pro, there's an ear tip fit test right here. So this is gonna play some things to make sure that the audio quality and noise cancellation will be at maximum effectiveness. All right, so it says there's a good seal on both. It played a royalty-free track, which I found really funny. Actively, the earfit test makes sure that you're using the right tip, small, medium, or large, to ensure you get the highest quality sound and that there is a barrier between your eardrum and the outside world. That's how noise cancellation can work so well. But passively, there's another effect. Even with noise cancellation turned off, you hear less around you than with AirPods 2 because it's not just hard plastic in there anymore. So Apple added transparency mode just to AirPods Pro that allow you to get closer to what things sounded like with AirPods 2. And they actually did a really good job. It uses the mics on your AirPods to boost the sound around you as if there wasn't that physical barrier between your ear and the outside world. And it works incredibly well. It sounds ever so slightly artificial just because it is using like an AirPods mic and not your actual ears, but it's pretty close, and I think it's the best that Apple can do here. So what else does AirPods Pro have that AirPods 2 does not have? We've talked about sound quality, we've talked about the feel, but what about water resistance? I've actually washed AirPods before, AirPods 1 specifically, and I thought they were done. Amazingly, they went through the wash twice and were completely fine, like 100% fine, which is insane to me. AirPods Pro are actually rated for splashes of water. So this is pretty amazing. AirPods Pro came out today, and what are the chances? It's raining lightly in my area, which is like the perfect use case scenario for that. So I don't have to worry about the batteries getting fried or like water leaking into the speakers. It's actually really fantastic that they have the water resistance now against small splashes of water. So this is a torrential downpour. I'm not in the middle of I guess the middle of a hurricane's calm, but I'm not in the edge of a hurricane where everything's wild. Like, I've got water resistance on my way to the gym. That's pretty dope. This one's really small, but in the box for AirPods Pro, you get a USB-C to Lightning cable. So any newer Mac that you have, you can plug in, or any newer PC for that matter. You don't need to get a dongle or an adapter like you would for a USB-A cord, because these come with Lightning to USB-A, which is just your standard square USB. These come with the reversible Lightning, which is reversible, and also reversible USB-C, which is pretty cool. A nice touch that Apple throws in there. AirPods Pro get a final advantage when it comes to controlling on the pods themselves, where you can only double tap to activate Siri or skip or rewind songs on AirPods 1 and 2. You can actually play or pause or switch between active noise cancellation or transparency mode by just tapping and holding respectively with the little touch sensitive bar area on AirPods Pro. So that was a nice touch, and I can definitely see myself enjoying that more rather than having to pull out my phone or my watch to actually stop something or use my phone. Processor inside, although this can do so much more with transparency mode with noise cancellation on AirPods Pro, is identical in AirPods 2, which means you both get hands-free Siri access. So when you're walking around outside, Siri with iOS 13.2 can actually read you your text messages, and you can reply hands-free without ever touching your Apple Watch or your iPhone, which is pretty sick. You also have the ability to talk to Siri just by saying the trigger phrase, "Hey," and then Siri will actually have a conversation with you. You can ask about the weather. The voice is crystal clear on both of these. It was really low quality for some reason with AirPods 1, and Apple corrected that with AirPods 2, so there's no difference in that. I find it interesting that Apple actually used the same chip. You'd think they would have even just done a name change with something different to make this more pro, but really, they have that same functionality there. Battery life is actually an area of controversy because you can potentially get longer battery life on AirPods 2 if you're someone who plans to always use the active noise cancellation on AirPods Pro. Apple says when you have it disabled on the Pro, when you're not using active noise cancellation at all, you can get up to 5 hours of continuous listening, which is the same thing that they tell you about AirPods 2. But if you do plan to use AirPods Pro active noise cancellation regularly, most of the time you listen, that battery life gets cut down by 30 minutes to 4.5 hours. My number one complaint about AirPods since they came out was the fact that the batteries don't last forever, and if you use these a lot, the batteries tend to degrade pretty quickly. So like after a year of usage, the batteries don't hold as much juice as they did on day one, much quicker than your iPhone because the batteries are so tiny. I was hoping that on a Pro model that would get better. It hasn't. These technically have less battery life, and Apple has advertised these as having less battery life because active noise cancellation will put a bit more of a drain on the battery. But if you don't plan to use that, which it is one of the big features, I mean, you get the same on both. Last thing on the list here is that AirPods Pro come with a wireless charging case, where AirPods 2 for $200, you do get that wireless charging case, where if you don't need it, you don't have to get it with AirPods 2. You can opt out, and if you don't have wireless charging, you save $40 for no difference in the pods themselves. So that's also something to think about. I have wireless charging, so it's definitely something I appreciate. It's definitely good that it's standard here, but is it necessary if you don't have wireless charging installed in your house already? Definitely not. You don't need it. And on all the charging cases, they're engravable. So if you want to have them say something and you want to ruin your Apple product, you can also get engraving on both of these. These are AirPods 2 and AirPods Pro. And for me, I think most people are going to be completely happy with AirPods 2. That being said, the key reasons that you should be looking at AirPods Pro over standard AirPods are for water resistance if you do sweat a lot or always working outside in conditions where you might be around splashes of water, if you care about active noise cancellation, and if AirPods 2 have been uncomfortable or not worked in your ears before. And even the sound quality, that is sharper on AirPods Pro, and I think for a lot of people that they're going to prefer the sound of AirPods Pro. It's just not something that I like, and I get that. Audio is different for different people. So AirPods Pro, should you upgrade? Well, maybe. But for me, I actually really like AirPods 2, and I'm going to be running these through their paces, testing them out, giving them some more time, but not entirely blown away by AirPods Pro. AirPods Pro are definitely better than AirPods 2 in a number of ways, but for most people, you can save over $100 just by buying AirPods 2 with a wired charging case. If you don't care about noise cancellation, if you don't care about wireless charging, if you don't care about better audio quality in some areas, AirPods 2 are still really good, so maybe give those a try if you're looking to save a couple of bucks. That's all I have for you in this video. Drop a like if you enjoyed it. Hit subscribe for more. I've been Sam. I'll catch you in my next video.